Hey, beautiful souls. How you doing? It's Gina here, Too Much Woman. This is the very first time ever that I've done a Facebook Live, and I've been nervous about it. I'm very uncomfortable. And so I will say from the get-go that I'm probably going to mess up and say a whole bunch of things that I'm going to need to apologize for. And I'm probably going to say a few things that will offend people, and I'm going to get it wrong. And that's why I'm doing this. I have been in this space, like many of you have, watching, and I have been very resistant to watching the video. I saw a snippet of it, and hearing George call for his mother snapped me in half. I don't think you have to be a mother to have been impacted by that. And I was so uncomfortable that I turned the video off. And I have not been publicly addressing this conversation, really, because I didn't want to get it wrong and I didn't want to make a mistake. And there's a part of me that doesn't think that anyone wants to hear from another white woman saying this is what we need to be doing in this space. So I woke up this morning, had a couple of conversations with my best friends, and I realized that not being willing to be uncomfortable is my white privilege, because I can go on with my day today and the rest of the week and have this whole thing not impact me, really. I have friends that it impacts, that I care about, but it doesn't really impact me. There's a lot of shame in saying that. I don't have to have a conversation with my 16-year-old son when he gets his license about what to do when authorities pull him over. So I've been reading a lot, I've been listening a lot, I've been observing a lot, and I'm trying to find my way and to use this space and this platform to talk about this thing that feels so uncomfortable. And I don't have answers, but I do have questions, and I believe that the questions are often more important than the answers themselves. So here are some of the questions that I have. I'm still I take a note from Brené Brown, who reminds me that we all have a lens that we look at the world through. And the lens comes from our upbringing. It comes from our culture. It comes from our sex. It comes from so much training. And that lens is soldered to our face. And as much as I desire to have compassion for, and I intend to have compassion for, and I want so much to have compassion for those who are impacted and are in pain and are disadvantaged, I can never fully understand their experience because it's not mine. And so what I keep asking myself is, how can I do anything? What can I do? So I want to begin with, I've been reading a lot, and I've seen many posts about people who have resisted the idea of white privilege with the argument that they're not privileged because they've had a hard go of it, even though they're not a person of color. And this isn't about hard work. This isn't about being a racist. White privilege isn't about you not having a hard time. I come from an immigrant family. My grandfather worked hard. My family worked hard. They would hardly call themselves privileged. But reading a beautiful article called "The Backpack of Invisible White Privilege," was really helpful, because I can walk into any store and buy a doll that looks like my daughter. I can walk into Shoppers Drug Mart, our drugstore, and buy a Band-Aid that matches my skin tone. I know that if I'm driving in my car today, that I'll get pulled over by a cop for a reason, because I ran the red light or didn't stop fully at the stop sign, or I'm not wearing my seatbelt, not because of how I look. And that's the privilege. My greatest privilege is that I can watch the video or not watch the video of George. I can participate in the conversation or not participate in the conversation, and it really doesn't affect me. That's my privilege. So the question then becomes, what do we do? And this is what I've been struggling with. And I have some very powerful women in my community as my best friends. And we're looking at each other saying, I don't know what to do. Do you know what to, like, how, what do we do? I don't know what to do. And then it dawned on me that we're asking each other, and we should be asking our brothers and sisters what we need to do. And so I did. I spent the morning reaching out to a couple of very powerful people in my community. And I said, I don't know what to do. Take the lead for me. Take the lead for us. Can we have a conversation? I just want to listen. I want to understand. And I want you to take the lead. Give me some direction. And I think that's what we can all do. So if you're watching this, I have an invitation for you to reach out to someone and to ask them to take the lead, and to let them know that you're there to listen, and to try our best with our lens to understand. I listened to a beautiful Facebook Live. It's an old one, actually, from Brené Brown. And she said this. She said, the way that we do anything is to listen to and believe the stories and experiences that people share with us. That's how we start to do it. So that's how I'm starting. I'm going to have conversations with people, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to believe their experiences. And it may be different from my experience. It might be contrary to what I've witnessed. But that's not the point. The point is to believe them. And that's the space that I'm beginning in. And I'll be very frank with you that I have concern that in this space where I have chosen, my life's work is about standing for the woman who has dimmed and shunned herself her whole life and not celebrated her too muchness. I have a lot of men in this community. I have a lot of lesbian and gays in this community. So I recognize that although it's called the too much woman, the spectrum of people who have dimmed themselves is very broad. But I also, for the first time, recognize that that is white privilege as well. Because I can dim myself, I can morph myself to be more accessible and more loved. I won't do it anymore, but I could, where people of color cannot. They can't morph and dim. And that was a huge aha for me. So it's even a privilege to be a too much woman and know that if I wanted to, I could bind my breasts, I could man up, I could wear glasses, I could dim all parts of myself, I could shut myself down to be more accessible, to be more accepted. I could do that. I won't, but I could. And that's my white privilege. So my call to action for everyone, and by the way, I'm so frustrated that Facebook will not let me bring people on Facebook Live anymore. They stopped that in January. So I can no longer bring someone on this conversation and have a conversation live. I can only pre-record it and post it, and then Facebook doesn't let anyone see it. So frustrating, because I would love to demonstrate, to model for you what this conversation looks like. But what I will do, as I have scheduled some conversations with some people, I will record them and I will post them, because that's how I can use this platform. If anybody has other ideas, please let me know. But that's how I can do it, is by giving us all an opportunity to lean into this discomfort. So if you're unsure of what to say, this is the message for me. So I'm going to offer it to you. If you're unsure of what to say, what to post, what to comment, because you're afraid of getting it wrong, which I am, if you're afraid of saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing or making assumptions that are wrong because we're wearing that lens, I want to tell you that the discomfort that you're feeling, the white privilege is that it's optional. You cannot comment, you cannot post, you cannot say anything. That's white privilege. But people who are discriminated against have to live that. They don't have a choice. They're always uncomfortable. And so I'm choosing to lean into the discomfort, because that's what I can do. So how do we, and I'm reading, Dina, I know you're really sick today with grief, and I understand that. Hi, Greta. Hi, Pam. I understand how we're all feeling. And what I'm saying to you is, just like every other thing that I speak about, those uncomfortable feelings are important. They're breadcrumbs. They're going to lead us to the truth. And sometimes the truth is freaking ugly. And it's like morning breath. It's like a night after you've had a couple of drinks and you wake up and the truth is sometimes ugly and it's uncomfortable. But the truth does set us free. It is the way. And so in your way, I'm inviting you to lean into the discomfort. Don't not watch the video. Don't not read the post. Don't not participate in conversations because they make you uncomfortable. That's just our white privilege. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Have some grace for yourself. And really what is so healing is to reach out, to feel like you can do something. It's in the doing something that remedies that ache. Reach out to someone. Just send them a message or a text and just say, look, I'm an ally. Take the lead. I'm here. How can I be an ally? What can I do? And just listen and then believe them. My heart's breaking too. That's it. That's all I got. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Sending you so much love. Rest in peace, George.